Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is 11:25 p.m. and it's kind of weird weather outside. It is 55 degrees and it is raining a lot, off and on. It's like storms and then it stops, storms and then it stops. And I was just listening to Where the Crawdads Sing. I have about an hour left of it, so I'm gonna try to finish it tonight, and then I want to start something else. I'm not gonna make this a super long vlog tonight. I keep on saying that, and then my vlogs keep on being an hour. They do. So I'm gonna probably have this one be a little bit shorter so I can listen to my book tonight and not go to bed super late. I'll tell you about my day in just a second, but I have to tell you something that's kind of sad. I think sometimes, like, being on this side of YouTube now, like, making videos and talking, and I, like, kind of forget sometimes what it's like to just be a viewer. And, like, how, you know, kind of entrenched you get in the world of the YouTubers that you watch. You know, and there was a long time that, like, I mean, I didn't film videos, and I was just somebody that watched YouTube videos and couldn't wait for that person to post every day, you know. And I've talked about, like, you know, Will and RJ from Shep 689 that I used to, like, watch their videos every single day. And there were a lot of YouTubers like that, you know, that I kind of followed their lives. And you know, that was even, like, before social media, so to speak. So, I mean, even though YouTube is social media, but, like, before, like, Twitter was really big and, you know, all of that. And people didn't have Facebook pages like they do today. And so, to follow their lives, these YouTubers, you would, you know, watch their channels. Tyler Oakley's another person I watched for, like, a long time. And I have a few like that today, but not very many. But one of them that, I got so upset about this, you guys. One of them that I have watched consistently for the last couple years has been Nick and Poncho. And Nick is this Italian guy, and his dog is Poncho, who he calls Pancino. And Poncho was a little Chihuahua. I was just showing Mel videos of them this weekend because I love them so. I mean, he's my favorite channel of life. And they did just these 2 and 3 minute videos that were just absolutely adorable. And I actually think, like, he's way underrated as far as, like, an editor. Like, the editing on his videos was really well done. And they were these just very sweet videos that were hilarious too. And Poncho just had such a personality. Well, I was laying in bed. Alex and I went out to dinner with Melissa and Jason. I'll talk about that in a second. But I was laying in bed, and Alex was, like, putting his clothes away and stuff. And I was reading through the comments on my vlog, and I meant to go in there and find out who had left this comment. I don't know who it was. So thank you for whoever left it. But somebody said, I don't know if you know this or not, but Nick and Poncho on the Facebook page just announced that Poncho passed away. And I was like, I don't think they even said Nick and Poncho, they just said, like, Poncho passed away. And I was like, at first I was kind of like, who's Poncho? And then I was like, oh, surely this can't be Nick and Poncho. I mean, Poncho just turned 10 last year, I think. So, I don't follow the Facebook page or anything, and I went to this Nick and Poncho Facebook page, and Nick had posted this really long post about, long paragraph about the fact that Poncho had suffered from a heart murmur. It was just, like, it was so close to home, I think, is what was hard too. And that Poncho had passed away yesterday, and that he, I think it was yesterday, well, he posted the thing yesterday, and that Poncho had a heart murmur his whole life, and a lot of Chihuahuas do. And, it was just so weird, you know, I got like so emotional about it, and I was like, it had always kind of been like, I know it sounds corny, but when you talk about like collaborations and stuff like that, like I always thought it would be so sweet for like, you know, PP and I to like meet like Nick and Poncho, you know, like I always like, that was always kind of like this dream that I had to be on YouTube. Like, it's weird because, like, you know, for my first year on YouTube, it was like I wanted to meet all these big YouTubers if I could ever meet, like, you know, Shane Dawson and Trisha Paytas and Jenna Marbles and, you know, all of these people. And then I started meeting some of them, and like it normalized that whole process for me, that I realized that they're just people like everybody else, you know. And so I think that there was something magical to me about Nick and Poncho that seemed kind of, we lived in different countries, and I don't know, but he had a Chihuahua and I had a Chihuahua, and their personalities were kind of similar, and just I got real sad about it, you know. And I tweeted something out, and I said, you know, something like maybe PP and Poncho are, you know, finally hanging out in heaven or something. I like to think of stuff that way, but I just got like real emotional about it. I've been kind of real emotional today anyway. It's just been a weird day. I got up and started uploading my vlog. I don't even remember what I did at first today. I was uploading my vlog, and oh, I know. So like I had, well, the short of it is that the hotel contacted me and was like, because we're just going to Florida next week, even though Ultra was canceled. And Alex and I were kind of like, well, let's just go anyway. And then I talked to my dad yesterday, and then I woke up today, and my dad, who doesn't like play into like, you know, media panic. I mean, my dad is very like, just very analytical about things. I mean, he's a surgeon, you know, and he was very just straightforward with me about things that are going on with all of this yesterday, and was just like, you know, you need to take care of yourself and make sure that you're like, you know, staying healthy and blah, 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 whatever. And, but then he texted me this morning, and when I got up, he had texted me, and he said, he was like, hey, Pete, he was like, Miami-Dade County just declared a state of emergency. You guys might think about not going to Florida. And the hotel had like reached back out to me. They were very nice yesterday. At first and this is the thing, it's like each day that goes by, it's like it seems to everything completely changes. At first, when I reached out to them, they weren't willing to give us any of our money back, and that was part of it. I mean, you know, I was like, I don't really know what to do. We're literally going to be out of just like thousands of dollars if we don't go. But at the same time, it's like this, I don't, like, in all honesty, you guys, I mean, I don't act like I have any kind of expert opinion. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like I read half of these things and people are saying, well, it's like, you know, experts are saying it's a media frenzy and we shouldn't take it as, like, it's serious, but like, you know, be healthy, take care of yourselves and whatever, but it's not as serious as the media is making it out to be. And then yet the other half is they're shutting down the borders from Europe. And, you know, like, Disneyland is closing, you know, every Live Nation's canceling every concert in Indianapolis today. Like, literally every school township closed till after spring break. which we're weeks away from spring break. So like the next month, like every school township is closed, which is crazy. I mean, because Indiana doesn't even close for school closing or snow closings. And then, so it's like, okay, they're telling us it's not serious, the experts, but then, I mean, I have a hard time believing that Disney, the corporation, does not have experts on their panel that they are consulting about shutting down a multi-billion-dollar business. I just really find that hard to believe. So then that would lead me to think that, or lead people to think, I would think, you know, that there's got to be something pretty serious to all of this, you know? So anyway, Alex and I discussed it, and we're like, listen, the responsible thing to do is to not go. So the hotel had reached out to us and said that they would reimburse us 100%. And then the airline had said that they would, that, you know, basically you get like a voucher that you can use for like the next year. So in reality, you know, we didn't lose any money. And you know, the thing is that, like, I had tweeted something out about it, and I think a couple people were, like, upset that I had said something like, I don't get my money back for this, and I don't get my money back for that, and whatnot. And it wasn't like I wasn't concerned. I'm greatly concerned about what's going on, especially in Italy, you know? Like, we have friends of ours that live there. I'm greatly concerned about it, but I can also be concerned about something and also be frustrated that I'm literally gonna be out of, like, this wasn't just a $500 trip. This was like months saving to be able to take this trip. So we were like, kind of like, we didn't know what to do, you know? And it's like, I was talking to somebody and they said, well, like I was talking to a friend of mine that's a doctor, and they were like, well, let me bring out my, you know, crystal ball, because I have no idea what's gonna happen with this. It could, you know, explode, or it could be like nothing in a week. Like, we have no idea. Like, we don't know, you know? This person just like straight up read a red light. I mean, just like went straight through it, and it's still going. So anyway, Alex and I talked about it, and we were like, okay, listen, chances are we'll go and be completely fine, but we need to be responsible adults about this and not go. We need to, you know. So we decided that we're not going to Florida next week. And I called the hotel. They were really, really nice about the whole situation. And then I found out that, like, every club in Miami has closed down, which I had said to Alex already. I said, if we go, like, I want to go to, like, the beach and, like, out to eat. Like, that's the extent of, like, what I want to do. Like, nobody knows really how serious this is going to be for us in the United States, so I think we need to take as many precautions. I don't want to go to clubs. I don't want to, you know, all that stuff. Well, like in Indianapolis today, they passed an ordinance that you can't have any gatherings larger than 250 people, and going forward. And then, like in Miami, like all the clubs are closed. In Las Vegas, like all the shows are canceling. In New York City, all the shows are canceling and closing down. So, I don't know, it's so scary, isn't it? It's like, and you know, the scariest thing I think is, and this is just me speaking as Peter Monn in my car in Indianapolis, I don't feel like when I watch all this stuff, and I feel like I'm reading the articles and watching the news just like everybody else, you know, like Dr. Drew today was very upset and saying that, you know, like, you know, 10,000 people today died of an opioid overdose, which you guys know I take very seriously, and 4,000 people died, 4,000 homeless people died in Los Angeles, and, you know, 1,000 people died of influenza, and we're not talking about those situations. And he's talking about how, like, the media is blowing this out of proportion and all this kind of stuff. Maybe so, I don't know, but I've never in my lifetime of 47 years ever seen this happen, like, ever, like the way that it is. And it's scary because I don't know what to think, you know, and I'm sure many of you out there are the same way. You know, it was interesting because Tanya and I went to Meijer, and I'll tell you about that in just a second, but we went to Meijer tonight. It was literally like snowstorm panic season. I mean, it was crazy. Like, the parking lot, you couldn't find a parking space. The lines, we had to wait forever until I was like, come on, Tanya, we're going to the self-checkout. I can get us out of here in 5 minutes. But we waited in line forever. Everything was gone in the entire store. I had gone to Costco earlier, because we literally are almost out of toilet paper, which is my fear. I was telling Alex, I was like, we need to get toilet paper. He's like, we have enough. I'm like, we have like 6 rolls left, okay? That will maybe last us a couple days. Like, we need toilet paper. Like, and if we go and they're completely sold out, like this whole toilet paper thing, you know, is crazy. But Jason was explaining it to us tonight that, like, you know, a majority of it is shipped from China, and that if they stop shipping from China, there won't be a surplus of toilet paper in the United States, right? But for me, it's also like, I mean, like, what happened in Italy could happen in the United States. They could quarantine us and tell us that we can't leave our houses. And if we can't leave our houses, then we can't get toilet paper and things. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to make sure that I have toilet paper in case I need toilet paper. I'm not afraid of, I don't know what the hoarding of the toilet paper is about, but I do understand people's concerns. I get it, you know? And so I was sitting there thinking about it today after I canceled the hotel and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I felt better about it. I really did. I felt like, okay, we made the right decision. You know, because I was wanting to kind of rationalize it and be like, well, I mean, we could get sick in Florida and we could get sick here. But Alex today at work, he heard them talking about how they were going to start closing, like, the borders of, like, states and stuff. I was like, I didn't hear that anywhere. He was like, well, that's what they were talking about, that they were going to close the Indiana borders or whatever. And that you can't drive in and out. I don't know how they would stop people from doing that. I mean, I really don't know. That's scary to think, right? Like, that would be our world. And then Jason, tonight at dinner, he has people that he works with that live in Italy. And he had a conference call with them today. And he was telling us, like, that the hospitals are at capacity. They have no more respirators. That, like, it's really scary situation in Italy right now, you know? And he was like, that could be us in 2 weeks, you know? I mean, it just really could. And so anyway, I went and did a review video today, and then I got a coffee at Wendy's, and then I came back to upload it, and then Tanya just happened to call me, and I said, I'm thinking about going to Meijer, and, Alex went to Office Depot on his break, just as a little side note for any of you out there, and he got toilet paper and paper towels, like, enough to last us, like, a month, like, you know, like, the big thing that you get at, like, Costco or Sam's, and he said they had tons of it there. So if anybody else out there is trying to get toilet paper or paper towels, not to feed into the media frenzy, I'm not trying to do that, but just in case you want to have it. This was what our attitude was. So Alex and I talked about it, and I was like, I just want to make sure that we have everything that we need for the next month. So, like, if something would happen and stores closed down or whatever, that we would have the things that we need, you know, for the next month. For example, contact solution, soap, things like that. So we did that, and then, or he went and got that during his break today, and he said there was tons of it at Office Depot. So then I went and I got Tanya, and she and I went to Meijer. Oh my God, we drove by Kroger. Kroger was completely packed, not a space in Kroger that you could get in there. Walmart was ridiculous, and Costco, that I went to earlier today, was crazy. It was like a Saturday afternoon, and no toilet paper. They were kind of like rationing out the water, kind of the water bottles. Like, I couldn't really figure out how they were doing it. They had tons of water bottles there, because I really couldn't figure out how they were doing it. But so Tanya and I went to Meijer, and we, like, not a parking space, and we walked in, and Tanya's like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it just was, like, unbelievable how many people were there, and people were not real friendly either. It was kind of scary. I mean, I would say it felt a little panicky in the store. Like, I didn't feel panicky, because I was with Tanya, and so we were just kind of, like, you know, doing it, but it felt panicky, like people were panicky in the store. And I got like deodorant. I just got the stuff that we need for, like, the next month, and They didn't have any cleaner that had any bleach in it. I got the last bottle of bleach, and I just was like, in case we need it to clean with or something. You know, who knows if this gets worse. You know, I'm not trying to like play into it, but I did get, Tanya and I both got like cough drops, and we got like a Aleve, and like that emergency stuff. Alex and I have been taking it every day just to kind of try to like help our immune system a little bit. I don't even know if that works, you know. But I was like, well, I mean, if we get sick, at least we have cough drops and Aleve, you know, to help with that situation. So, I don't know, it was just weird. We went through there, and Tanya got some food that she needed. There was no chicken, like hardly any meat in the store. The bread was gone. And I think part of it is that the schools have closed here. So people are like buying all this stuff because they're like, I mean, people's grocery carts were like literally like piled over. It was unreal. And I think that made me more nervous than anything I've seen on the news, to see how other people were reacting. And it was real interesting standing in line, because you know we're standing in line forever, right? And the line for the lines to check out, the checkout lines, like went back into the clothes. Like that's how far back it went. And so we're standing there, and you know, like people around you, everybody has an opinion. And so like the people in front of us were like real serious about it. And like Tanya and I were just kind of like not feeding into anything. Although it was interesting talking to my dad. My dad was telling me that like hospital protocol that they've put into place, it's like very serious. And so anyway, we were like talking, and I said to Tanya, I said, and I am such a rule follower sometimes. Like I hate that I am, but sometimes I am. I wasn't for so long that now sometimes I'm a rule follower. So I said to Tanya, I said, I'm not waiting in this line anymore, because like people were, I don't know, they just like, we had been waiting there for like 20 minutes or something anyway. I don't know how long, but anyway. And people were just like, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about it, right? And like, you know, all the people we were around were kind of like, oh yeah, you need to have this, you need to have that. And it was just kind of making me, it was like freaking me out a little bit. And I said, I'm gonna go up to the checkout, or the speedy checkout. And I said, and she goes, okay, I'm gonna stay here. And she had just a few more things than I did, like probably only 5 more things than I did. And I said, I'm gonna go to the speedy checkout line. And I said, and then I'll take it to the car, and I'll pull the car up so that when you come out, you can just like load the car up like that. And she said, okay, that's cool. And the guy in front of me goes, he looks at my cart, and he goes, you can't have more than 20 things. They won't let you go through there. And I look at his cart, and his cart literally has about 200 things, right? And I go, okay. And so Tanya goes, are you gonna go? I go, well, I guess not. I didn't know how many things I had, so of course I count literally every single thing in the cart, and I had 24 things, right? So I start taking things out and putting them to the side, which I don't like to do anyway, because it's bad recovery, because I like to put things back where you find them. So, and then I was like, okay, I was 4 things over, so I took the 4 things I had taken out, and I put them back in, and I put them at the front, and I was like, if anybody says anything to me when I get up to the line, I'm just gonna take those 4 things out and go, oh, it's gonna stop, hold on. I was like, if I get up there and they're like, you know, you can only have 20 things, and I'll take these things out, and I'll put them to the side, and I'll be like, okay, I have 20 things, right? Well, I get up to the line, and literally, well, first of all, there's only like 5 people ahead of me, and it's going pretty quick. But the people that are checking out, I mean, there's people up there that have literally 200-300 things in their carts, right? And I'm like, okay, so obviously my 24 is nothing. The guy in front of me, the poor guy in front of me, he was probably about 25. He had like a deep dish DiGiorno's pizza and a bottle of wine. And then the woman in front of him, she had, I don't know, about 6 to 8 bottles of wine. And she was probably about 60. And she looked at him and she goes, like, and not hushed tones or anything, right? And she goes, this is all ridiculous. Nobody's gonna get sick. And he just kind of didn't say anything. And she goes, I mean, this hoarding of toilet paper and water is just, why? It's ridiculous. She goes, nothing's gonna happen. And you know what I thought? Like, this is so horrible, but I thought, you're exactly the one that's gonna get it. Like, the one that thinks you're not. And I told Tanya, like, when we got to the car, I said, you know, I've changed a lot in my years. Like, when I was younger, because I come from such a sarcastic dad, I would have been like, oh, this is just BS, blah, 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 whatever. But today, I'm kind of like, at 47 years old, I'd rather be on the safe side. That's just how I am, okay? I'd rather have, you know, and I mean, like, and the thing was, like, I told Alex when he was buying the toilet paper and stuff, I said, don't buy so much that, like, you're not leaving stuff for other people. Like, leave enough. Just buy what we need and don't buy more. You know what I mean? We don't need to stockpile stuff. And I didn't buy anything that I didn't need. That was the other thing, you know? So, there was tons of food, though. So anyway, she was going off and nobody was listening to her. And then Tanya, of course, comes up in the line and she gets in line and she makes friends with this couple in front of her, and they're just like laughing and stuff the whole time. And so we got through the line and we went out. But Tanya, when we were walking to the car, she said, I got tears in my eyes. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, that was weird, Peter. She was like, I've never in all my years experienced anything like that. She said, and I could see how people could turn real quick. Like, it could get real ugly. And it could. Like, I mean, people were not nice, okay? I mean, not at all. And the worst area was by, like, the toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning items, bottles of water, and all that stuff in the back of the mire. People were kind of going nuts back there. And it was like, you know, if there's usually 3 or 4 people, the 3 people in an aisle in the middle of the day, there was 12. I mean, it was weird. And I didn't like it. I just felt kind of, I wouldn't say claustrophobic, but I was just ready to get out of the store. And I told Tony, I said, listen, I said, I got soap, I got deodorant, I got cleaning materials for the house. I got vinegar. Did I get vinegar? I don't know if I ended up getting vinegar. I had bleach. I said, if I have to, like, you know, make my own stuff, but it is what it is, you know. It's kind of scary, though. I don't know. I think the scariest thing is I don't know. Like, I feel like everybody has an opinion, but nobody really knows what the truth is. Is kind of how it is, you know? So, you know, my dad led me to believe that, you know, and he's a surgeon, and I've always trusted my dad on medical things, but my dad was like, Peter, there's like a lot of things that are, you know, 100 times worse going on out there right now that we don't focus on. And he was like, as long as you stay healthy and you know, if you get sick, that, you know, call me and I'll tell you, you know, like, you know, but don't leave the house, stay at home, don't infect other people. He was like, you know, it's like a lot of other things. He goes, but people are dying of, like, the flu every year, and we don't talk about it. It's a huge issue, you know? And we haven't seen that many cases in the United States even compared to the flu. And so I feel like a lot of doctors are saying that kind of stuff. But then my dad said to me, he goes, but Peter, it could get a lot worse, too. We just don't know, you know? And I said, are you telling me that he goes, like, Peter, we just don't know. He was like, you know, he said, yes, the coronavirus 19 or whatever it's called, you know, we've, like, known about that, he said, but I don't know, it's just scary, you know? And then people were sending me these screenshots of where Sylvia Brown supposedly predicted this in 2008, that it would happen. And she said that it would come in and it would, like, affect mass amounts of people, but then it would go away as quick as it had come. And then it would come back up 10 years later. I don't know what to think about all of it. But that was a weird experience. And then we went to Cheesecake Factory tonight. Alex was on his way home, and he was like, I'm going to get something to eat. And I was like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I think I'm just going to go to District Tap and get a salad. And he goes, are you hungry? And I said, yeah, I could eat something. So he goes, you want to just meet at Cheesecake Factory? And I said, okay. So we met at Cheesecake Factory, and he had we're in this huge long group text with Melissa and Jason. They had canceled their trip the day that Ultra, but they booked it through, they didn't book it through the hotel, but they canceled their trip, like, the day that Ultra canceled. So Alex, like, in the group text, he had said, you know, like, hey, like, you should, like, you want to come to dinner? And so they met us there for dinner. They came, like, 5 minutes later or something, 10 minutes later. And, it was kind of dead in Cheesecake Factory tonight. And I don't know if that was just the time, because it was like 8:39. It was 8:30, but it was kind of dead. There was not a lot of tables filled. So I'm wondering if people are starting to just be fearful about going out, you know? I just can't believe it. It's like all these Disneyland and Disney World are closed. Like Disneyland closed, but I guess like Disney World is gonna close. Like, I mean, I was talking about this on the vlog last week, wasn't I? About I can't imagine all those places closing down, and now they are. Like it's unreal. It's surreal, this world that we're living in right now. I don't know. I'm sure there's some of you out there that don't want to talk about it anymore, so I'll just let it go with that. But I'm trying to stay positive, stay healthy, and read the news, but like not the social media news, you know what I mean? Like read the news and keep up with like the facts of what are going on instead of spreading misinformation. I think that's dangerous. I think we have to spread the facts, and I don't know what they are. So go read them on the news somewhere, because I have no idea what the facts are. I don't know. But I've been reading the articles. And the articles, like, many of them say different things. So it's like, what to believe, you know, what to know. Anyway. I think the weirdest thing, too, is, I mean, other than, like, Disneyland and whatever, but, like, schools closing. Like, our schools around here never close. So. I think it's kind of sad in a situation like that, you know, where you like to think that we're a society that leans on community, but we really aren't. And I mean, I can't tell you how many people Tanya and I were just like, just go, just go. You know, I mean, we're not going to fight people. Like, go take the last of that if you need it or whatever. You know, I mean, people were like, you could tell they were like agitated. Well, hopefully this thing will come to an end soon, and hopefully not many more people will suffer. It's so sad. Anyway. Boo and Tucker did not want to go outside. Oh my God, this was such a mess. Okay, so today I was like trying to go get Tanya, and I realized that my hoodie was in the car. And so, was it my hoodie? Yeah, my hoodie was in my car, and I wanted to put my hoodie on to go to Meijer. And so I was like, but I don't want to wear a t-shirt outside, then bring it inside, and then have to like, it was, you know, that kind of stupidness, where you're like, I don't want to go get my hoodie, bring it inside and change it. Should I just walk outside with no shirt on? I just realized that like 95% of my audience is women, and you're probably like, yeah, we never have that problem. But like, I seriously was kind of like, should I go outside with no shirt on and just put my hoodie on, or should I go put a t-shirt on, walk outside, get my hood? You know, I live in an older neighborhood, so it's like people notice stuff like that, right? Like in summer, maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal, but in the middle of like March and a rainstorm, you know? So I know it's stupid. I think about these things. So anyway, is somebody texting me? I don't think so. Oh, by the way, oh my God, that book that I'm listening to, it might be one of the most beautiful books I have. It might be one of the most beautiful books, if not Now, I'm not saying the best story I've ever read, but it is a pretty fine story. It might be one of the most beautiful books I have ever read in my entire life. It is so beautifully written. I mean, it is literally like the finest dessert I have ever eaten in my life reading that book. To just listen to it. Some of the lines are just unbelievable. This guy asks her to forgive her, and she says, it's just how it's written. It's all written like poetry. She like looks at her toes and like knocks the sand, or she looks at her feet and knocks the sand between her toes and thinks to herself, why does the person who's been betrayed, still bleeding inside, have to be the one to bear forgiveness or something? I mean, but it's not just one line. It's like every line is just like saturated in the most beautiful prose. I mean, it is unreal. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful to listen to. And I would recommend listening to this. This is one book that I would recommend listening to instead of like reading. I just think the narrator is so fantastical. So it's fantastical. It's so fantastic. It's Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful books I've ever read in my entire life. So anyway, what was I talking about before that? Oh, okay. So I didn't even have to wiggle my toes to remember that. So I was going out. I was getting ready to leave, so I put Boo and Tucker in their house, and I had fed them before I left, so I was like moving the camera, and I shut it off. Okay, but anyway, this story is so boring anyway, but I was, so I fed the dogs before I was getting ready to leave, and, so Boo Radley eats in his house. He always has. Tucker eats at the top of the stairs on the slate floor, and Pee-Pee, he used to eat in the kitchen. But, you know, Pee-Pee's not there anymore. So I tried to get Tucker to eat in the kitchen, just because it would be easier, and then we could have Boo eat around the corner. But they won't. Boo, like, darts right downstairs to his house, waiting to eat, barking the whole way. And Tucker, like, won't even hardly touch the plate in the kitchen. He took a little bit off of it tonight, but then he just, like, walks away. I think he thinks it's Pee-Pee's food or something. I don't know. It's so weird. So anyway, so Tucker had finished eating really quick, and so I picked up his plate and I rinsed it off and I put it in the dishwasher, and then I was getting some stuff done, and then I was like, okay, Boo, or I was like, okay guys, let's go to your house. So took them downstairs to their house, and I was picking up Boo's plate, and as I turned, I don't know what happened, but like something happened, and you've ever had like a glass or a plate, like you can feel like it's about to fall from your hand, and you're like this. Like, that's how it is. These are plates, so they're little round plates, like this big. They're plates, I think I've shown them on here before when I'm putting the food on the plate. They're these little plates that my mother had for years and years. I mean, I think my whole entire life, these little white plates. And I could care less about that. I mean, we have enough plates, old plates, so I'm not sad about that. But this plate hit the floor. They were already in their house, thank God. Hit the ground and smacked and shattered. Okay, I just looked at it and I was like, oh my God, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to go get Tanya Jean, and this plate just shattered. Well, when I looked down at it, I thought, because of our slate floor, how it is, that it had shattered into like 1,000 pieces. And in all actuality, it hadn't. It had shattered into like 3 or 4 big pieces, and then just like a few little things. So I had to go upstairs and get the broom and all that stuff and clean it up to make sure that there was like, you know, I like swept it like 1,000 times over that area to make sure that there was none of it. They're just like looking at me the whole time like I'm a big idiot. So then I got out of the house, and yeah, and then I went and picked up Tanya Jean. I don't know why I was telling that story, but anyway, that was my day. I'm kind of clumsy. Would you guys guess that? I don't know that people typically guess that about me. I don't fall a lot, but I drop a lot of stuff. I figured out, like the one night I was freaked out about it, do you remember? I figured out that like when it starts raining heavier, they go faster. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I didn't figure that out sooner, but I didn't. So anyway, but it's not like raining any harder tonight or anything. Foggy outside again tonight. I don't know what book I'm going to read next. Everybody's talking about, like, I feel like I see these constant memes and GIFs about this being the zombie apocalypse at now, and y'all know I love to read zombie books, okay? I love to read zombie books. But, like, I've read, like, the best zombie books that are out there. Except I haven't finished the series, My Life as a White Trash Zombie by Diana Rowland, which is absolutely one of the best series ever. I think I have 4 books left in that series, so I might read that. I think Mel is almost done with it, if she hasn't finished it already. But there aren't, like, really a lot of other good series out there. I loved As the World Ends by Rhiannon Frater. But that was such a great... Okay, so... if you like End of the World books or zombie books, like there's a difference, but I like zombie books more than I like End of the World books. I don't mind them, but like, I don't know. The Hunger Games, I like that whole series. That series was good. I'm trying to think of what other End of the World books I've kind of read, but you know, like Devastation novels and things like that. But, As the World Ends is a zombie apocalypse book series, actually. And I think the first one is called is it out of focus? The first one is called As the World Dies. And then the second one is called Siege. And the third one is called, I don't remember. I think the second one is called something else, and the third one is called Siege. But anyway, so it's about these 2 women, and one is like a businesswoman, and it takes place in Texas. One of them is like a businesswoman, lesbian. You don't know that right away, though, when the book starts. It's so fantastically written, okay? And these 2 characters whose names I don't remember, Jenny, God, what's the other one's name? Gwen? Jenny and Gwen, I think. And one of them is like an attorney. I think she's an attorney, and she's a lesbian. And her partner's been killed, like right when the book starts. And she saves the other woman, and the woman's baby, I think, or the baby has become a zombie at the first or whatever, and her husband is turned into a zombie, and he's trying to kill her, and he's already killed like one. So anyway, and then the 2 of them go to try to get her stepson, who's like at this camp somewhere like 100 miles away. So they become like close friends, and then like attacking zombies. But it's not just attacking zombies, it's attacking like, it's very much like, you know, Walking Dead, but better. It's 100 times better, it really is. And then they meet these people that have started building this town all around this old hotel. And they're like, they live in this town for a little bit. I'm not ruining it for you. None of this would ruin it for you, because I'm leaving out so many things. But then they find this town that has this hotel, and they barricade this hotel in this old hotel. There's a lot of people. It's kind of a mix between like Lost and The Walking Dead. And, oh God, it was so good. And I was devastated when it ended. Like, I did not, I think I talked about it on this vlog for a long time. I didn't want to read that final book for a long time because I just didn't want it to end. Like, I just was not ready for it to end. But all good things must come to an end, and it did. So I don't know. I've never read the Rotten Ruin books by Jonathan Mayberry. I bought the first one on Audible. I have, like, the first one or the first 3, I think. But I sponsored this guy like years and years and years ago, and he like got him at like a thrift store or something, and he like called me up and he was like, have you ever read these Rotten Ruin books? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh my God, I can't put it down, I'm loving it, and he like read all 3 of them over a weekend. They're supposed to be really good, and I've always wanted to read them ever since then. Whenever somebody tells me that they cannot put a book down, it makes me want to read it. But I've never read them. I really like the whole idea of like a zombie apocalypse, but there's like a group of people together that are helping each other out, or like a town, and I like reading about a series. So if anybody knows, put that in the comment section below. World War Z, or what, the Survival's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse or whatever, that was not like the movie at all. I did not like that book. I didn't finish that book. I don't even know how far I got in that book. But I think that guy that wrote that book, he wrote 2 books, and one of them I liked, and that was the one that I did not like. Do you want to hear something funny? So I will watch anything zombie. Like, in fact, I just downloaded on iTunes Zombieland and Double Tap, which I guess is the sequel to it. I haven't seen those, with Woody Harrelson, and I've really wanted to see those for a long time. I'm so far behind in Walking Dead. I'm like seasons behind that. I don't care if I ever go back to that again. But the last episode that I saw, I think, was when the one guy was killed. The guy who dated Meg, or was with Meg, or whatever. Was that her name? That was like the last episode that I think I saw. I don't know, a lot of it just got real redundant to me. But here's something really funny. Alex's biggest fear, I mean, my husband is not afraid of anything. Nothing, okay? He's not afraid of sharks, he's not afraid of the dark, he's not afraid of serial killers, he's not afraid of murderers, he's not afraid of anything, okay? I mean, nothing. He is not afraid of anything. My husband's one and only fear, it is going in and out tonight. I don't know why it's doing that. Like, my husband's one and only fear is zombies. And it was because when he was raised, there were like a lot of like zombie, like they would tell a lot of zombie stories in Venezuela. And it was like part of the culture to like scare kids with like zombie stories. And like we watched that movie. Well, I watched it and then he watched it. I can't pronounce it. Every time I try to say it, he laughs. The La Llorona or whatever. But like that was like a story that they told the kids when he was growing up. He really wanted to see that movie. He thought it was so stupid. He was like, they didn't even get it right. But anyway, like they told them that when like they were growing up to scare them into like being good kids or whatever. And so he is like, to this day, he is like really, really deathly afraid of zombies. He totally believes it could happen. Like you cannot talk my husband out of like the idea that zombies could happen. You know, I've always kind of loved zombie stuff too. It's interesting, like when I was in high school, I really, really liked the movie. I don't know why. I kind of found some weird comfort in it. I liked the movie. Well, first of all, Night of the Living Dead. Not Night of the Living Dead, but that's a zombie movie. I don't love that one. The old one. I don't love that one. But Dawn of the Dead is the movie that I found some comfort in when they were like locked up in that mall. Do you remember that? I love that movie. The original, not the remake. I don't know that I've ever seen the remake, or I've seen it and it didn't do anything for me or whatever. I don't know. I saw the other day on demand that it's free, so I was like, you know what? I should watch this. Do you know I went 2 days to that Airbnb, and then Mel told me she was watching something on demand when I walked down there. I go, we have on demand in here? She goes, oh yeah, we have all kinds of movies and all kinds of stuff. I go, we have on demand? I was so bitter that I didn't know that. And then the last night that I was there, I was so scared to sleep in that house by myself. We were talking about that tonight. They got such a kick out of that I put like a chair against the door. But the last night I watched, as I fell asleep, Where the Heart Is. I love that movie so much. It's such a good movie. And that's a Billy Letts book, and I read all of her books. Oh my God, her books are fantastic. If you liked the movie Where the Heart Is, you need to go read Billy Letts books, because Billy Letts, Billieletts, every single one of her books is fantastic. I've read every single one of them. They're all of them fantastic. She passed away a long time ago, a couple years, well, not a long time ago, 10 years ago probably. What was I gonna say? I was talking about zombies. Oh, Night of the Comet. That's not about zombies, but did you guys ever see that movie, Night of the Comet? I loved that movie. Were those two sisters, one of them slept in like the movie theater place, and the other one slept in her parents had the party, and so she didn't get along with her stepmom, so she slept in the the sewage thing or whatever. And so they were the two that weren't affected by the comet. Halley's Comet came and it killed everybody and just left their clothes and dust on the ground. Do you remember that? And then, so they drove all over the city and they were just basically living on their own. And there's a scene when they're in the mall. I love those mall scenes. When they're like in the mall and they're, what do you call it? They're like putting on all this stuff. And then this guy comes over the system and like scares them half to death. Because they didn't know that he was in there, you know. I didn't want to go this far or vlog this long, and I haven't turned around yet, so I'm going to turn around up here yet. I'm going to turn around up here yet, and then go back. I really want to finish this book tonight. Well, I will finish this book tonight because it's only 12:17, and I only have an hour left. But I don't know what I'm going to listen to next. This semi has its brights on. I might have to pull in somewhere and look up best zombie series and see what's out. Or I might just wait until you guys tell me what to read. I think zombies for me are kind of like a fun fear too, because I don't believe in zombies. So it's like Michael Myers from Halloween, like I believe that could happen. Like those kind of movies scare the hell out of me, okay? But like zombies, I don't believe in. So for me, they're kind of a fun kind of fear, because I'm like, I can be scared, but like I know it's not gonna really happen. You know, it's not like I'm walking into my house, I'm afraid there's a zombie right there. There's a little bunny rabbit that's living in our walkway right now. He is so sweet. I saw him when I was walking out tonight. I was like, you can live in our walkway if you want, little bunny rabbit. We always get them around our house. And then Boo and Tucker run outside and they just like chase them into the woods. I'm like, oh. Well, I think in the back we have like a family that's living underneath our patio. Either our patio or our neighbor's patio. Because they're always like standing right there when I open like the back door. And then Boo and Tucker. Boo and Tucker, like, I love them, but they're kind of dumb. They can like start walking out and see, because you know, like a rabbit will typically just stand there, you know, for a second to make sure that they're trying to like not be seen or whatever. And like Boo and Tucker will literally like keep on walking. They won't even notice him. And then all of a sudden he'll like move a little bit and then they dart after him. But they don't typically even see that he's like sitting there at first, which I think is so funny. All right, you guys, listen, I think I'm going to end this here and get off and listen to my audiobook, because now that I'm talking about it, I'm excited to listen to it. I'm also excited to see what I'm going to read next. So, oh, that house looks so cozy. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now. I hope you guys are, I'm trying to make these quicker at the ends, because I know that, and here I'm going against what I'm saying, but I know that people get kind of over the long outros and stuff. So anyway, but I have no intro on this channel, so I guess I could start an intro and not have a long outro. You think I should have an intro on this channel? I guess I do. Hey, you guys, what do I say? Hey, you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? I don't even know what I say. I have to start it. Hello, hello, hello. That's what I say. Anyway, somebody sent me a video of their child walking around with one of those fake phones in their house, and they were like, hello, 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 it's Peter. It was, you guys, it was the sweetest thing ever. I was like, oh my God, I love this. So anyway, those little video clips that you guys send me like that always make my day. They're always so nice. All right, and typically, I just want to say this, not that you have to, but if you, like, for those people that, like, mention me like in an Instagram story, I might say, I'm like, I shouldn't say this, because then, you know, my haters, those haters out there be like, he's begging for attention. But if you guys like mention me in something, I try to like repost it. I just want you guys to know that. Sometimes I miss them, but I try to repost them so that you guys can see that I saw it, and that, you know, it's fun. It's fun for me when you guys do that, and I really appreciate it. I want you to know that. All right. I hope you guys are having... Anyway, thank you for watching my vlog tonight. And if you made it this far, put a big blue heart, or just the blue heart size, whatever it is, emoji. And please like this video, and make sure that you're still subscribed to my channel. And I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys had, or if you're, can't even get my outro right. I hope you guys are having an amazing, what is tomorrow, Friday? Thank God it's Friday. I hope you guys are having an amazing Friday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun today. Do something exciting. Do something that will change the world. No. Do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on yourself 6 months from now, 6 weeks from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whenever. And if you're gonna buy toilet paper, don't hoard it, okay? Leave some for the next guy. We all need it. Just think about how shitty this world's gonna be if we don't have any more toilet paper, I'm just saying, okay? So leave some for the next person, please. Don't hoard it. You don't need that much. And, what else? And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say, I love you. You are valuable. You matter. You are worthy. You matter to at least one person. Don't ever forget that. You are worthy. Even if that one person is me. You are worthy. You are worthy of good things. You're beautiful. You are handsome. You're talented. You are funny. What else do I say? Today is going to be an amazing day, full of laughter and joy and good things. And yeah, and don't forget to say those things like, I'm a good son, I'm a good daughter, I'm a good husband, I'm a good wife, you know, I'm a good parent. And even those things, you know, that you don't believe. I'm a good spouse, I'm a good friend, I'm a good sister or brother. Even those things that you might not necessarily believe in right now, the more you work on them and practice to say them, the more you'll believe in them. And today is going to be an amazing day, full of joy and happiness and laughter and great opportunities. And 2020 is going to be your year, full of success, all the success you could imagine in your entire life. And you're gonna have a lot of fun this year. It's gonna be a great year. And most importantly, make sure that you let one person out there know how important they are to you and how much they mean to you. And yeah, just reach out and say, hey, I want you to know how much you mean to me and how important you are to me. And I'm going to extend this today to my dear, dear friend Steph. And I want her to know how much I love her and I appreciate her not giving up on me. And we are going to get together really, really soon. I love you. And also practice random acts of kindness. And what do we say? Well, first we say, don't forget to practice random acts of kindness. And what do we say? And don't tell anyone. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. Stay safe and stay healthy. I just wanted to give you guys one more I love you and tell you that I hope today you stay happy, joyous, and free. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.